Hey everybody, Roxbox90 here, back with a channel update as well as some pretty cool speculation info about a Magic the Gathering intro product, which is going to be revealed this week. First up, about the channel. We're almost at 15,000 subs. Yeah! Yeah! Awesome! Give yourselves all a round of applause and a pat in the back. We're almost there. We made it. Gotten all together and it's fantastic. We have giveaway, contest, cool event. It's going to happen when we get there. We had some voting on it a while back and it's going to be revealed what we're doing when we get there. We're very close, so stay tuned for that. The other factor is I know you guys have been wondering, hey, what's going on? You've been making videos a week, 2 weeks apart. Why was it going on for the last few months? What's going on with you? I've been moving, and as I also work full-time and I have part-time other things going on, plus this channel, it's just a lot of stuff, plus a move that came somewhat out of the blue for me, made it very, very difficult for me to produce the quality content, the timely content that I really wanted to. Hopefully this is something that once we get into Eternal Master spoiler season and once we get into the summer, will not be happening quite as often, and I'll be able to get back more fully. But I appreciate that everybody who has checked in out of concern and has been involved with the channel, trying to keep everything going and make sure everything's okay. Really appreciate all of your concerns and hopes and thoughts, and I'm working to be there. Also to note, the main thing that I had discussed in the last update was that I was going to make a top 10 Shadows over Innistrad Commander video. That is coming. It's just been put somewhat on hold, but it is in progress. Now, in terms of the new intro product, MaRo, Mark Rosewater, because salt makes mistakes taste great. He made this article. It's a fantastic article. You have to check it out. And the reason why is because this is a man who really pushes boundaries in Magic. He has had unbelievable ideas, creative, design-wise. He's really thought out in terms of how games work. And this is him going through mistakes he's made. He's made other articles that I've more or less read almost all these articles. I recommend you check them all out. One, because this gives you proof that genius and brilliance doesn't just come in a vacuum. There's lots of mistakes along the way and lots of hard work, and he emphasizes lessons that are learned that really drive a person to be even better. And he goes through block by block, different examples, different lessons he learned. I'm not going to go through them all, but definitely read the article. I'll link it in the description. The main thing to note is we've had a number of return sets for Battle of Zendikar and Shadows over Innistrad, and with all these return sets, the main lesson he's learned is that when you return to a world, you have to return to the things players loved about it the first time you visit it. And this is fundamental because with Battle for Zendikar as an example, it didn't quite hit the nail on the head the way people had expected. Shadows of Innistrad is a much better set in terms of a return style set. It really encapsulated what drove the original set and why people loved it so much, but it also took things to a new level. Battle for Zendikar was far less balanced in terms of those two components. And him saying that you really have to connect to the things people loved about the first time you visited, that is absolutely fundamental, and it's something that so far Wizards has nailed pretty well. But if they're going to be doing a lot of return sets going forward, it's something I hope they keep in mind because it is really important. Now, he mentions in the lessons learned, join me next week when I finally get to telling you about our new introductory product is going to be. Why? Because the core sets are gone. And the core sets were considered a time period for each year when WotC would encourage and try to connect with newer players. Core set had lots of core components, core cards to the game, lots of keywords people need to know, etc. Now they got rid of the core set. What's going to replace it? Well, we already know that Magic Duels has been around for a while, and this is one of the fastest ways and coolest, it's very cool and well done way of getting players into the game and learning the basics. It's a video game style version of Magic the Gathering with lots of cool cards, and they do a pretty good job of it. That's one thing, Magic Duels, but that's only digital. Magic Online is not necessarily so consumer friendly, and it's not something that they're going to drive through. So the question is, new introductory product is probably going to be on paper. Now, what could it be? Well, we've had intro pack deck lists. This is fine for people who are newer to the game, but already have some idea of the basics because they don't really guide you through how to play so much. It's more just providing a beginner deck with a pack, and they've had these decks before, but they're not great for what if you had no experience. What do you do? And that's what Wizards is so fundamental to driving the game. You need to build your audience, and to build your audience, you need to have product that can connect with your audience who know nothing and be able to bring them into the game very carefully and successfully. This is why it's so important that Wizards supports local game stores, because that's where the new people first show up, and then generally, and then also being able to have product that help them guide them into the Magic world, because Magic is a pretty complex game. So intro pack deck lists are good for the person who's already learned the very basics and just wants to start building a collection and being able to play. They're great for that, but they don't cover what Wizards needs. So what's another option? Well, they have the Deck Builders Toolkit. This was made, I know they had one in 2011 and 2013, I believe, as well, and maybe 2010. I know there was, for a few core sets, they put out this product that was 125 semi-randomized cards. You get also 4 packs, and intro beginner, you get lots of land and basic cards and how to play, and it gives you an all pack in one way of learning, while also getting the opening pack experience and being able to flesh out the core set style cards with more stuff. This is one way Wizards can go, is do a deck builder style kit. Another thing they could do is something they did with the gift box, which is where you just have some packs and you provide a container. I think this is the least likely, but they want to give more fleshed out version, so maybe they could have something like this that provides, you know, a combination of a deck builder's toolkit and the gift box, just in terms of size and packaging, allows for someone to have a collection box right there. Maybe that's something they could do, who knows. Something when I first started was I got a 7th edition 2-player starter set. The 2-player starter set was very, very similar to the deck builder's toolkit in that you get, but the difference is you got 2 pre-constructed decks, kind of like what stores sometimes have to give away. They have these little 30 card decks that 2 people can get. They just have commons and uncommons, and you can just learn how to play the basic keywords. This had that, and it also had a seeded booster pack with more advanced cards, and then you got a foil rare and a playmats, and it also had a rule book. Now Magic is far too broad today for this kind of thing to go on. An enhanced rule book for 7th edition, it would be very complex to do something like that, but they could have some kind of beginner's guide, beginner's kit, and they've done it for core sets before, but it'd be good if they had a fleshed out version for newer players. And this is a very, very rough template, and it didn't last very long, but if they had something like Magic Duels on the disc and then cards, a combination of both, that would allow players to learn on the computer and also in person. I think that'd be a great kind of thing to potentially work to do. And lastly, could be as more of a supplemental to newer players. They had these starter decks or intro decks or tournament decks. They had a bunch of different versions of these decks with 3 to 4 packs worth of cards that potentially had an intro to the game. But honestly, this is the weakest of the things I've mentioned. Probably the 7th edition and the deck builder kit are the closest to what they're saying. But regardless, nobody really knows. MaRo announced it. It's going to be coming up this week, hopefully. So I really look forward to seeing what they do, and I'll looking to cover that for you as well. So stay tuned to the channel, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please tap that like button. If you're new to the channel, check it in, subscribe. As always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.